Well, joining us now is Congressman Krishnamoorthi. He's a Democrat of Illinois and a member of the House Intelligence and Oversight Committees. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Same here, Ali. Thank you.
Congressman, I want to get your response initially to these emails that were released late Friday night as a result of a Freedom of Information request by the Center for Public Integrity that underscore and reiterate Mark Sandy's testimony in the impeachment hearings. How big a deal are these emails? What do you think they tell us?
I think they're significant, and here's why. All of us who were part of the depositions, who were part of the public hearings in the impeachment inquiry, were of the understanding that on July 18th, a full week before, a hold had been placed on military aid and had been communicated to all of the heads of the departments at issue, State Department, Defense Department, et cetera. And so then for us to see this email in which Mr. Duffy is basically putting a kind of almost like a rehold on this military aid really begs the question, why? Was the initial hold merely contingent, perhaps, on the phone call and what transpired during that phone call? Then after that phone call, did President Trump asked Mick Mulvaney and Mr. Duffy to go ahead and put a hold on this again because he didn't hear what he wanted to hear on that phone call? Those are the types of questions that come out of this email disclosure. And that's why I think we do need more documents, especially from the Office of Management and Budget and Mick Mulvaney. And that's why we need witnesses.
Mick Mulvaney was a member of Congress who I would imagine took the Congressional Budget and Impoundment Control Act of 1974 very seriously. And even if you don't know about that act, you know about Article 1 of the Constitution. Sure. And you know that the only thing that you members of Congress are actually compelled to do is appropriations. When Congress appropriates money, it is not legal for the executive to do something else with that money. So kind of interesting that the Office of Management and Budget and Mick Mulvaney are in the middle of something that Mick Mulvaney would never have stood for as a member of Congress. The idea that the president, the executive branch, can get involved in holding back money approved by Congress, notwithstanding the fact that this was approved for the military aid of an ally who is in a hot war with Russia.
That's right. And I think you might have mentioned this before, but the career public servants throughout the Defense Department, the State Department, and even the Office of Management and Budget, as Mr. Sandy mentioned, were freaked out by what was going on. They were looking at each other like, is this legal? Can you even not spend this money once it's been appropriated? And the testimony from the depositions and even the open hearings corroborated that. So I do think that these folks knew at the highest levels that what they were doing was not only wrong, but probably illegal. And that's why they wanted to keep things hush-hush. Keep this quote-unquote closely held, which is just a fancy term for don't tell anybody about it.
Talk to me about what you are saying to your constituents who are asking what the strategy is that Nancy Pelosi is employing in not sending the articles of impeachment to the Senate. What we started to hear from some Republicans is that must mean that the president's not actually impeached. Well,
I don't think anybody in America really believes that the president hasn't been impeached. And if they want to hang their hat on that technical argument, they're welcome to do so. But that's not what people are saying out in my district or in others. I think the real issue here is, are we going to have a fair trial or not? And I think it's very understandable for the speaker to hold these papers or articles for a few days, figure out, is there going to be a fair trial? What are the rules? How is it going to be devised? And then how do we proceed after that?
Congressman, good to see you. Congressman Krishnamoorthi, Democrat of Illinois. Thank you for your time tonight, and happy holidays to you.
Hey, happy holidays.
Thank you, sir.